it's time for some Roll Tide. Now, I'm not even a Bama fan, but I do think they have some of the best little catchphrases. I think Roll Tide is just one of the awesome. Like, I love that commercial that they used to show all the time. Where, instead of people saying hi, bye, or whatever, it's just Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Get pulled over. Roll Tide. I'm like, that's just so awesome. Like,
it's awesome until you get pulled over by an Auburn fan. Yeah, till that state trooper down in Bama is an Auburn fan, and then your Roll Tide ain't working so well. But yeah, it's such a passion down there too. I love it. I love the football atmosphere down there, and they're playing the best ball out of anybody in the country, if you ask me. I know some other teams are putting up more points, but Alabama's getting, 40 points a game themselves. I don't think there's been a game yet this year, and it's the first time. I'd have to check this out, but it may be the first time in 50 or 60 years that Alabama started a season 7-0 and had and scored over 30 points in every single game. It's just something remarkable, and you look at the kid McCarron, he's just not making mistakes. He's not turning the ball over. 16 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. They're running the ball great with T.J. Yeldon and Eddie Lacy. They had a couple guys get banged up. They lost actually. They were 5 running backs deep in this on this team, believe it or not, and like 5 guys that could start probably anywhere in the country. 2 of them happened to go down with injuries and are out for the year, and Justin Fowler and I think DJ Hart's the other one are both out for the year now. But they have this kid Amari Cooper who's stepping up to be a phenomenal receiver. Nick Saban says he is the best wide receiver he has had at Alabama other than Julio Jones. And he says the only reason that he's not Julio Jones is because he's a little bit smaller. He doesn't have the physical size and strength of Julio Jones, but he says that this kid Amari Cooper is just a little bit more elusive than Julio.
Okay, so you lose some size and strength, you gain a little elusiveness. Yeah, and I'd say that's a pretty fair deal.
He's been really good the last couple of weeks. If you want somebody to pick out of this game, everybody knows Alabama can run the football. If you want to look for something specific, look for this kid Amari Cooper this weekend because he's really good. He's only a freshman. He's leading the team in receptions and yards. Really, playing out. I think he may be even in receiving touchdowns as well. He's really playing well. On the other side of the ball, you look at Mississippi State, 7-0. That just surprises me. That shocks me almost. Can you pull up real quick what their schedule's been so far this year?
You want me to put Alabama's schedule?
No, Mississippi State. Yeah. Because I want to see who they've beaten to get to 7-0 because I'm pretty surprised that they are that good this year.
Mississippi State, all right. So far, they've beaten Jackson State 56-9 at home, Auburn 28-10 at home, at Troy 30-24, home against South Alabama 30-10, at Kentucky 27-14. Home against Tennessee, 41-31. Home against Middle Tennessee, 45-3. AKA, they haven't beaten really anybody. Not to sound like a, mean person, but that's the truth of it. Now, their hardest part of their schedule is right now. They got at Alabama, home against right now number 20 Texas A&M, and then at number 6 LSU before they're home against Arkansas and at Ole Miss. So, they have an entire stretch of SEC type of games coming up right now. So, their hardest part of their schedule is starting now. Hence why they're ranked so high. I wouldn't be surprised in 2 weeks this team isn't even ranked. To be completely serious with you, I'm looking at this. You got to assume Bama wins this game, right? You got to assume Bama at home is going to win this game.
Yeah, but they could beat Texas A&M.
But you know what I'm trying to say, though. If you think about it, you got Bama, Texas A&M, LSU. You're at Bama and at LSU.
They're going to lose those 2 games. They're going to lose at Bama. They're going to lose at LSU. The Texas A&M game is the toss-up game. That's the game that's going to be the closest. They're going to roll over Arkansas and unfortunately, Ole Miss, my cousin's out there listening, or Kyle. I hate to say that about Ole Miss guys, but, I really see Mississippi State winning those last 2 games of the year. So, I mean, they're either going to finish with a 1-loss team, 2-loss team, or a 3-loss team, with their losses coming to Bama and LSU. 2 or 3-loss team isn't that bad in this conference, believe it or not.
No, and you guys say to yourself...
Right now, there are actually 7 ranked teams, I think, in the top 20 as far as the SEC goes. And there's actually, 7.
They got Bama, Florida, LSU, Georgia,
South Carolina, Texas A&M.
Texas A&M is ranked 20th. Yeah, that's 6 right there.
6, and there's one more somewhere.
No.
Mississippi State. Yep.
And then
there it is. So you have A&M, Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia. 7 teams out of a 14-team conference are ranked in the top 20 in the nation. Just let that sink in.
I'd call that a really good conference.
Just let that sink in. Not even top 25. In the top 20, you have 7 SEC schools. That's just insane in my mind. And wonder why I think the biggest reason that is, Dave?
Why?
Because we play defense in the SEC. I think that's what separates this conference from all the other conferences, is they focus on that side of the ball more than any other conference does.
Well, and you know what? I've always liked the phrase "defense wins championships."
Offense wins. Yeah, the whole phrase is though, offense wins games, defense wins championships, and it does. It does. And Alabama's got an offense, and they play great defense. Gotta love them. Roll Tide. That's my pick. I mean, like I said, the biggest thing to watch for me this weekend is that kid Amari Cooper, and I want to see what he's able to do again this week as far as the passing game goes. So I know Alabama's going to be able to run. So I'm not even worried about that aspect. I mean, you tell me, what's something that you're looking for in this game? I know you don't watch a lot of college football necessarily. You probably haven't even really seen Alabama play live.
I've only seen highlights of Bama's games.
So, I mean, is there something that maybe if you're looking for in this game that you want to see out of either of these teams? You want to see something out of Mississippi State or Bama?
I'm interested to see what breaks. Both teams are winning their games by playing really good defense and solid offense. Both teams. If you look down at the stats, both teams really are. But what I'm really interested in seeing is that how hot is this Mississippi State team really? They're off to their best start since '99. They've won 9 straight games, a streak that is actually the 3rd longest in the nation, and they're only 2 games behind Alabama's win streak. But the problem is they've been dominated by Bama. They've been outscored 117 to 27 in the last 4 games these two teams have played against each other. But look, to me, the bottom line for this game is who wins the turnover battle. It's that simple. Who wins the turnover battle? Because I don't see Bama blowing out Mississippi State. I think this game is going to be decent. I don't think it's going to be, I still think Bama wins by, I say 10, but I don't see Bama up 35. You know what I mean? But what I'm interested in seeing is you have 2 of the top 3 teams when it comes down to turnover margin, and you have 2 of the most efficient passers in the entire BCS in college, period. Not just the SEC, in college, period. So, I'm very interested. Who messes up? Because all of a sudden, if McCarron throws a pick and, Tyler Wilson over on Mississippi State doesn't, and he plays a clean game, does that maybe change who wins? I mean, to me, this is that kind of game where a couple mistakes by Bama, they can lose this game. I'm not saying every time they get the ball. I'm just saying,
I guess you didn't realize that Alabama just doesn't make those mistakes. Because if they did, Nick Saban would just murder somebody on the sidelines.
Hey, it's football, man. Sometimes mistakes can happen even if you game plan your way around them. I mean, come on. You know as well as anybody when it comes down to football, sometimes they just happen. I mean, you have teams you expect them to happen with, and then you have teams that you don't expect them to happen with, and when it happens, it's shocking to you. If you want an NFL kind of comparison, in my opinion, You look at the Cowboys. When they make stupid mistakes that screw them from winning a game, you're like, well, that's Cowboys football. When you watch
Nick Saban, though, he's like the Chuck Norris of football. He just doesn't make mistakes.
He's got an extra fist in his beard.
I don't know if you've been reading what Fife's been putting in the chat, but it's pretty funny. But it's the truth. He is like he's the Clint Eastwood of football. You know, he just doesn't make mistakes. And even when he makes a mistake, he meant to make that mistake. You know, it doesn't happen. You don't catch him off guard. You know.
Nick Saban was what Willis was talking about. Oh, man. That is awesome. Fife having fun making fun, talking to Fife, you got to be careful, man. They might give you a warning that you can't type too much more. That is great.
The last one he put is pretty good. The word lesbian derives from the Latin phrase, she who has not yet been introduced to Coach Saban.
That is awesome. So, look, I know Bama's your pick. I'm going to just say I'm taking Mississippi State, even though, no, I'm not even wasting my time with that one. Look, I think Bama's winning this game. It's fun to go against you, but let's be serious here. I really do think Bama's winning this game. I think it's going to be a good game, but I do think Bama takes over towards the end of the game.
I'm going to say, if I'm going to give a prediction on this game, Alabama 38, Mississippi State 14.